Reps for responders. We are big on sobriety, right? Frank
Sober life
is a huge proponent of that. I've learned so much from this young man.
recovery, right?
Yes, man. This dude is a guy that I look up to because of his resilience.
He got me here.
And let me
That's
tell you,
crazy.
Frank is the guy that I don't know how he gets it done, but he gets it done. He'll be like, Jay, what do you think about this? And I'd be like, all right, I mean, I think it's a great idea.
Right.
And Frank always finds a way to get it done. I mean, I am way older than him, and I look up to this dude just because of his
See, that's the beauty
his
of it. We
mindset.
can learn from these young people.
And, you know, he's a like-minded individual, but he's wise beyond his years, man. And when he started talking to me about sobriety and the mission statement of Reps for Responders, I was like, yo, say less, I'm on board. And we created the Inside the Labyrinth podcast.
That's so dope, y'all.
When he reached out to you,
Look how creative that, a brilliant idea that serves a purpose.
We started a podcast during COVID, and it's called Inside the Labyrinth because your mind is like a labyrinth, and you can get caught up and down these
100%.
hallways. So we used to bring on guests on to say, and not only just first responders, all different walks of life.
Right.
Say,
That's what I like about it.
how did you get through the labyrinth and face the Minotaur and make it back out alive?
Yep. So just by him accomplishing what he accomplished is showing somebody struggling that you have everything necessary to beat and defeat whatever you're just. Anorexia, alcohol, meth, gambling. You are showing that, okay, what do I do? You should, things. Look at what you're doing. You're living a life. You're showing that everything is important, but even more importantly, everything is possible. That's crazy.
And everybody has a purpose. Everyone's story is just as important as everybody else's.
You know how many people I tell that?
If we're willing to share it.
Don't be thinking mine is so powerful because I'm DMC. I tell everybody, your story can save a life. Somebody once asked me that. DMC, why should a lady brought her son? I mean, he's just drugs, rehab, relapse, like he's that kid. So I was speaking in Cleveland at the Barnes & Noble, you know, about my book. I have a book called 10 Ways Not to Commit Suicide. So the parent, you know, she's from my generation. So she don't know. She tried everything. She said, I'm going to just bring him to see you. So he came because, you know, it's hip-hop run DMC. So he's sitting there the whole time listening to me. Cool, okay, wow. Then he starts hearing stuff. Because I told him, I'm DMC, but I'm an alcoholic, suicidal, metaphysical, spiritual wreck who was thinking of killing himself because he was depressed. And while all that was going on, at age 35, I found out that I was adopted and everybody knew. Then I found out I was a foster kid and everybody knew. Then hold up, and then Jam Master Jay gets shot and killed, and then my father Byford dies. So he said, what? I thought you was just the king of rock wearing your Adidas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I tell my story, and then at the end, he comes up to me and he just says, D, a lot of, everything you were saying, I said. And I was saying, that's me. But then he just asked me, why should I stay alive? And, you know, usually I hit, because you just, I said, no, the reason why you need to stay alive, because your story could save a life. You should have seen his face. And then he left. 3 months later, he's doing so good right now. Because I could have told, because you need to put your comic book out, because you need to do, no, I ain't going to hit you with that. I'm hit you with your truth. Your story can save a life. And within that, you find a purpose.
wow,
You know what I'm saying?
that's wild.
We all have a purpose and destiny. So me going to Rice High School was crazy because I could have went to Andrew Jackson, like Jay and Run.
Yeah.
I took 3 trains and 2 buses to go from Hollis, Queens, all the way up to 124th Street in Lenox.
Yeah.
Right around the corner from the Apollo, Lenox Avenue, 125th Street, right around the corner. And the kids in school would ask me, D, because they from the Bronx, Manhattan, and Harlem, why the hell do you come all the way here to go to high school?
Yeah.
I was I like the school, I'm smart enough to get in.
Yeah.
I find out later when I'm 35 years old, I was born on 139th Street. I was born in Harlem Hospital.
Oh, wow.
I was drawn.
Yeah, the
crazy is
universe
that?
works in such a powerful way that
Powerful way.
it drew you back there.
Now, the reason why I wrote the book was, this is funny. If you remember, my partner Run had a reality show, Run's House.
Run's house, yes.
10 seasons of it.
Yep.
This is funny. So the first season comes out. There's no DMC. First season. So at the end of that season, the finale, they know DMC is going to come as a reunion. No DMC. All right. Second season. Finale, no DMC. So by the third season, it's, what the hell's DMC? What's going on? There's a beef, whatever. What do you know? I'm saying how social media is. I'm reading the craziest. Everybody's saying everything, this and that. No, first of all, me and Run are not together 24/7 anymore. It's because the Master J got shot and killed. Oh yeah, we forgot about that. But second of all, here's why. People start seeing me when I get out. I went to rehab. I went into rehab. I went into rehab March of 2004. So I had to go to Sierra Tucson for a month.
Shout out to
So
Sierra
March
Tucson.
1st to March 30th, I had to be in there. So I get out. Now I'm back in the world. I go to 7-Eleven, go to the grocery store, traveling again. You see me in the airport, whatever. People see me at the gym. First question they go is, D, why you ain't on Run's house? You know what I'm saying? And I go, well, because hip-hop to me is keep it real, right? Tell the truth at all times. I kept it real my whole life on my records. I never was in a gang. I didn't sell drugs. I didn't go to jail. So every time you heard me, it's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. I'm DMC, son of Byford, brother of Al. Banner's my mother, Run's my pal. It's McDaniels, not McDonald's. These rhymes are Darryl's, those burgers are Ronald's. I ran down my family tree, my mother, my father, my brother, and me. I just told you this simple, little, nice, sincere truth over a dope beat would make you think, yo, this guy's kind of cool. So now these people ask me that. Mad, too, on some celebrity thing. Why you ain't on Run's house? Well, I'm an alcoholic, suicidal, metaphysical, spiritual wreck who was depressed and thinking of killing himself. When I found out that I was adopted at age 35, then I found out I was a foster kid. Master J got shot and killed. My Pfeiffer Byford, who I rhymed about on every record, died. And I would tell people that, and they would look at me like this.
Yeah.
Now, all the celebrity stuff would go right out the door. Every time I would say that, two things would happen. They would either do this. They would look around like it was bugged by the CIA. And when they was comfortable, they would look me in my eye and go, Darryl, I've never told anybody this. They would go, me too. So then when they would tell me, so that means you've been walking around your whole life struggling, stigma. Ashamed to tell your boy, your mother, your father, whatever, that you was vulnerable, confused, afraid, scared, and just completely fucked up. You've never told, but you're only telling me because I'm DMC, and you're only telling me because I revealed to you first that you did. But here's the one that hurt me the most. I would say that to them, and they would look around, guilt and shame and all that, and go, D, I've never told anybody this, but not them. My mother, my wife, my brother, my daughter. And that would make me go, hold up. You were ashamed to even tell somebody that your daughter's on meth or your father's alcoholic or your cousin or whatever's there. And you worried about how people gonna think about you for having a person go through that. So then right then and there, you gotta keep it real, D. And then we would sit there and we have a discussion. And just because I revealed my weakness and vulnerability, yes, I'm the mighty king of rock who walked his way in his Adidas to tell the world how tricky life can be over some of the dopest beats ever, but I'm human. I'm fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And these people would say, yo, you know what, D? Maybe I should. And they would go and find their victory. So I realized dialogue is the most important thing. And two things. If you remove guilt and shame, you remove the pain of the thing that's making you do what you do. You don't remove the situation. Your situation doesn't define you do. When I went to therapy, I went to rehab and then I went into my therapist, and my therapist said, D, your whole career, even though you didn't know that you was adopted, something happened to you. You was traumatized by the day they took you from your birth mother. So you started automatically going into some what they call self-medicating behaviors. The problem is harmful, destructive behavior in Black communities, but Italian, Japanese, harmful, destructive behaviors are celebrated in communities. Part of the problem that we have is I was drinking a case of Old English, 40 ounces a day. And people in my hood was like, there's always a guy that could drink 3. Nobody stopped me at number 4 and say, D, what's wrong? Or there's always a guy that smokes a lot, always a guy that fights a lot. He beats everybody. Nobody sits him down and said, who's abusing you in your house or who's doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So these destructive behaviors are harmful.
What are you running from? What are you afraid of? That right there.
And some of the times it might be your mother, your father, but you got to address that issue. You can heal that issue. So if you remove guilt and shame, you remove the pain of the situation. And then you realize, oh, shoot, just like I had a toothache and I went to the dentist, just like my mother noticed, my teacher in 2nd grade noticed I was squinting. And my mother comes to pick me up. My teacher wasn't ashamed to say, Miss McDaniels, I think Darryl needs glasses. So from 2nd grade, I got contacts in now. Something wrong with my eyes, but my mother or we did something about it. I can't tell you if it's 100 degrees outside, don't feel hot. I can't tell you if it's below 0 outside, don't feel cold, but I can say, come inside, sit in the air conditioning. Here's a cool drink. I can tell you, come inside, here's some hot chocolate. There's nothing wrong with a person saying they feel like killing themselves. Why? Because there's a person, place, thing, situation making them feel that way. So if someone tells you, I feel like killing myself, since this world has been in existence, it's nothing wrong with that person telling you how he feels. What's been wrong is how people react to that person, which drives him to make him or herself do that. Unless you admit this is another dope rhyme. Unless you admit how you feel, whether good or bad, you never heal. What I mean by that, we celebrate. If I sit here, if we see people, the world sees the person, they go, I feel like $1 million today. I feel like I could take on a distant, I'll fight a lion. But as soon as they say, I'm depressed today, get away from me, weirdo. Or I'm sad today. Or they treat us like we're abnormal. When in truth is, I found out from telling people, everybody's going through something.
Absolutely.
Police officers, hold up, there's doctors committing suicide. I had to tell one doctor, you can't save everybody. I know that, I know, but you can't save it. But here's your thing. Try your best. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. And I told one doctor, I was on New York Medical University, New York University. They have a podcast on Sirius. I don't know if they still have it. So I was taking calls in, right? So one doctor calls in and says, what do you do, D.M.C., when you're depressed? After I stop drinking alcohol, I go back and do what I've been doing to get me through all my rough times. I'm going to make a confession here to y'all. My whole career, and Run just thought I had dope rhymes, which I did, but my whole career, all I was doing was pretending to be a superhero on the microphone. Thor is the son of Odin from Asgard who has a brother named Loki and he has a hammer. I'm the son of Bifred from Hollis. I got a brother named Alfred, a friend named Run, and I got a mic. My whole career, I was just pretending to be the most powerful entity in the hip-hop universe. I'm the devastating mic controller D.M.C. And can't nobody mess around. It's a comic book. I'm the king of rock, rap, and of rhyme. Like, the whole thing. So this doctor was like, what do you do? And I asked this doctor, I said, who's your favorite pop culture character? And he said, because of my kids and my daughter and them, the Powerpuff Girls. I said, from now on, I said, your comrades won't know, your fellow surgeons won't know. When you're going into that operating room, you're going in as one of the most powerful Powerpuff Girls ever. And the doctor, you can do that? Yes. You can do. So now, you ain't got to pick up the liquor no more. All you got to put that feeling that the liquor's giving you always goes away. But if you know Spider-Man will never leave me. So now I've realized I don't need nothing outside of me to help me overcome what I'm battling against. Now, I came to realize that some of us might win the battle quicker than others. But if I could fight this battle every day till I'm 90, I lived a productive life. So I won't be ashamed of when I went to Sierra Tucson, I was in there with alcoholics, gambling addicts, anorexics, you name it, sex addicts, we all in. And I realized that, like you just said when we started talking, we all got different stories, but it's all the same thing. And I'm looking in there and I started feeling sorry for all the people going through something. I'm one of them too. So once I realized that, there's nothing to be ashamed about. You know what I'm saying? I realized that I'm not alone and everybody else is going through something. So for you to create a community of people going through something, it's just as cool as our community is just as cool as the community of people that can drink and don't go where we go. It's all the same thing. So I've embraced my vulnerability and my weaknesses and I still get scared to death before I go on stage. So it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to be vulnerable and stuff like that. That's the power that has been given to me. I call it the discovery of recovery. It's my thing.
I like that.
The discovery of, because you will discover things about yourself that you didn't even know about. And it may be foreign territory, but that's the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? That's the beauty of it.
It's a hero journey.
Yep. Yeah. Now, I'm glad you said that. When I was growing up, I didn't see a lot of the stuff that we go through as adults begins in childhood. So that's why I wrote a book called Darryl's Dream, which deals with low self-esteem, trying to be like others, wanting to be something that you're not just to please others. And all of those issues we encounter in our adult years. But a lot of the things get overlooked because when we're kids. Now, our world is your friends, your family, your career, whether you're a police officer, doctor, teacher, UPS driver, whatever it is. As adults, our world is our family lives, our friends' lives, and our career and our business lives, the people around us all day. So that means it's our households, it's our bedrooms, it's our households, it's our relatives, it's the places we go every day from work and wherever we interact. It's the same thing for the little kids. But their world is their households, their backyards, their schoolyards, and their classrooms. In those classrooms, these kindergartens, these preschoolers, everybody to like 5th and 6th grade, these little kids, we have a bad habit of when a kid, kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, comes to you with an emotional experience. And I've watched this now that I've been sober and I've been paying attention. I watch parents go, "You're too young to be thinking like that." What that does is damages the kid. Because now you just told him him or her is something wrong for feeling it.
Keep holding it in.
So now, every time it arises, they will do something to go it down because they were psychologically damaged. But when that kid comes and says, "I have these emotions about what people," sit down and listen to him. Let him or her just get it out. That's how you deal with it. But parents go, "No, you're too young to be talking." They get scared. "No, you can't talk." So now, when the kid gets 12 years old, no, younger, when the kid's 10 years old and this feeling arises, they watch what the adults do. They're going to start grabbing a liquor. So the reason why I bring that up is, my therapist said, "D, in your roughest times, you would say the 2 magic words that every philosophy, every religious philosophy, every holy, sacred, philosophical philosophy, that I am." My therapist said, "D, don't you know most of all your records start with the great I ams, and you became all of those?" "What do you mean?" I am D.M.C. in the place to be I go to. I am the king of rock. When I walk this earth now, people, "Yo, what's up, king?" I am the son of Byford. I am the microphone master. All my I ams. So now, when I went to rehab, I was diagnosed with suppressed emotions. I was like, what's that? In Sierra Tucson. They said, "D, you would take the alcohol and you would drink it 24 hours, 7 days a week because you thought there was something wrong about telling your truth." And I was like, "What do you mean by that?" And then I realized when I first went into rehab, when you get intake, and the person comes in with the board to check you off.
I'm only smiling because I'm picturing when I went to rehab. I know exactly what you're saying.
Come
Yeah.
in and start asking these questions. You know, when was your last drink? This and that, boom, bang. So after when it got to the end and it was time to like get into me, the guy he was the white guy. I was what 35. He probably had to be like 46. Dr. Cloak, the whole nine, glasses and the board and everything. So he asked me, Darryl, during your career with Run DMC, did Run J, anybody at the label, management, or anybody ever do anything to get you mad? So I'm sitting there and I go, no. You know what I'm saying? Fronting, you know what I'm saying? A million. There was no way that what I just said was true. So I said that, right? He put his board down. He was looking at me, put his pen down, takes off his glasses, and then he stands up. This is funny. And he starts unbuttoning his clothes. So I'm like, what the fuck? He's
Like
gonna beat my...
the Beast from X-Men coming out?
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh shit, what, he's gonna beat my ass or something like this? So he takes it off, and I'll never forget, he had on it was either Ramones or AC/DC or something like that. So I guess he did that to break the ice. And then he sat down and he looked me in my eyes, and he said these words to me. He said, D, you're a goddamn, and he's looking, and he got face to face with me. And he said, D, you're a goddamn motherfucking liar. And when he said that to me.
This is the first conversation you ever had with him, right?
Yeah. When he said that to me, yeah, man, in 1985, yeah, in 86, oh man, I remember this stuff. It just all poured out. He said you was taking the alcohol and
Suppressing your emotions.
your emotions. It's okay to say, I'm not doing that. No, I don't want to go there. No, I'm not. It's okay to say that. It's okay to question. It's okay to say, I'm not feeling good. I'm confused. Let me just drink this. And now, you felt good when you was high, yeah. But when it wore off, you felt a million times worse than that. So he said, in order for you not to suppress the emotions, do what you was doing that made you make all these great records. So I realized I'm very powerful telling y'all how good I am on a microphone. Mm-hmm. But I'm also a billion times more powerful when I admit to you, oh, I was scared last night. I'm confused. Y'all don't know I got a problem with my wife, whatever. Talk about it. Talk about it. You're not the only one.
Back to communication.
We so mad. You thinking my boy's gonna look down lesser than me? No. Matter of fact, me talking up white saved my boy's life. So the reason why I bring that up, to jump on that was when you said the hero thing. People forget all superheroes are going through something. Mm-hmm. Socially, emotionally, all of them are going through. All superheroes, and some, even the Martians, traumatic event. Thanos was messed up. He lost his whole planet and came up with a plan to correct it. He's self-medicating. I'm going to snap my finger and kill. No, there's a way. Spider-Man lost his parent. Batman saw his mother and father murdered. All superheroes.
I sound good for you with that. You got my mind rolling.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, all superheroes are going through something traumatic.
One, say thank you. I appreciate you.
You know,
D,
brother.
thank you for opening up and sharing your strengths, experience, and hope like that. That's what this is. That's what this is all about. I'm gonna say three things, and I'm gonna lead it into a question for you. One, what you just said, right? You got Batman. I'm getting pumped now. You got Batman, right? Yeah. Little Bruce Wayne. He sees his parents murdered in front of him, right? And you have his enemy, right? The Joker, abused as a child. His father, right? Two traumatic events, two separate paths, all led to different choices, right? Think about how powerful that is. Because if you look at Batman, and if you really look at the comics and how really dark it is, he's like suffering
100%.
the whole time. But who does he have to help him out in his corner the whole entire time, right? I'm blanking on his name.
Alfred.
Thank you.
Alfred. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Joker, right? Alone, by himself, right? Create destruction in society to be a part of something.
Yep.
And that relates back to gangs. That relates to, I really believe
100%.
in that mentor.
Okay, Frank.
That master Jedi. A master Jedi, a mentor, if you know you're a good master Jedi or a mentor, is that you see your young Padawan or the person you're mentoring, like you said, oversurpass you and say, you know what? I did a good job. Not only did I champion my story, I helped champion someone else's story. that person can help champion someone else's story.
Yes. 100%.
That's what it's all about.
Yep.
Live, learn, and pass on. So now, are you a Star Wars fan?
Yes.
Okay. I'll have to show you my tattoo after.
Oh, so you're big time.
So we're talking about there's parts in our life where we have to face things alone, and you know this in recovery, right? There's only so much that the doctor or your sponsor can help you, right?
Yep.
Star Wars Episode 5. Luke goes to Dagobah. He's looking for Yoda. He finds Yoda. Doesn't even believe that that's Yoda, right?
Yep.
They're training, hardcore training. Yoda says, "Okay, you have to enter this cave," and Luke says, "Are you going to enter it with me?" And he already knows. He says, "No, you have to face this on your own." So what does Luke do? He goes into the swamps. He goes into the cave of Dagobah, deep, dark cave. And who does he face? Vader. He defeats Vader, right? He takes off the helmet, and who does he see? Himself.
Yep.
The biggest fear of becoming
100%.
that resentment, that depression. So now,
You.
leading into the labyrinth. The labyrinth is your mind, right? It's your brain. You can get caught into all these different hallways.
Yep.
There's a big Greek mythology story to the great Greek warrior called Theseus. Back then in Crete, the Minotaur was put into the labyrinth. All the Greek warriors were trying to kill the Minotaur. No one could do it. The Minotaur was slaying everybody. Theseus said, "You know what? Visionary. I know I can destroy the Minotaur. I can go into the labyrinth, cut his head off." But he had a fear. When I enter the labyrinth and I defeat the Minotaur, how am I going to get out? So his girlfriend at the time gave him a ball of yarn and said, "Once you go in the labyrinth and you defeat the Minotaur, you drop the yarn into the labyrinth and you follow it back out." So this happy ending. He went in there, defeated the Minotaur, followed the yarn out, and it's kind of like, what the hell does that mean? Our labyrinth is our mind. Every single day we have a choice to be Theseus, which is compassion, confidence, visionary, love, trusting other people, or the Minotaur, depression, rage, fear, anger, hate, just like that bowl of just nonstop going through.
Right.
So my question to you is, when you were in the labyrinth and then you had to, at one point you did it, you came face to face with the Minotaur and there was no more running, right? You had to use your Captain America's shield, you had to use the Iron Man glove, right? But then you also needed something else to defeat that kryptonite, right? Who was your ball of yarn? What was that spiritual awakening for you?
Oh, wow.
That touch of Jesus or that touch of God or whatever you believe in.
Yeah, no.
You were in that, you were in that spiritual realm and you heard a voice and they said, "T, you don't have to do this anymore. Follow me." What made you finally say, "You know what, I'm going to Sierra Tucson"?
This. The first thing that happened was I found out that I was adopted, which made it worse for me. So I'm already suicidal and alcoholic. Now I'm going to drink myself to death for it because now I'm not even Byford and Banners at a Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. So here's what it is. I find out that I'm adopted, and I just say to myself, okay, if I die tomorrow, people know the D.M.C. story, what me, Ron, and Jay did, but they don't know Darryl, who's the little boy Darryl. Whatever. So I said, I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to talk about this. But then when I started thinking about this adoption thing, that means there's this other lady, this and that, whatever. That made it worse for me because not only I thought I was the only depressed alcoholic in the world, I'm thinking I'm the only adopted person in the world. So I meet another adopted person. What happened was my manager and my publicist says, "Keep them working." Because they don't know. They know something wrong. And I laugh at them because they love me. Keep them working. So they take me to LA to go get cast for a movie. So I'm sitting in the meeting with my manager. They doing Hollywood stuff. I'm sitting there in the labyrinth.
You're running from that Minotaur.
I'm in there.
You can hear him.
Yeah.
Right behind you.
So the agent, when he finished talking with my manager, turns to me and he says to me, "D, I see Run, I see Russell, this and that. What's up with you?" I said to him, "You want to know what's up with me?" "Well, I just found out that I was adopted," and I just let it all out. So he didn't know what to do, and I love him for saying this. He said, "I can't possibly understand what you're going through."
Mm-hmm.
Wow, you're the first person that said that. Because everybody else would say to me, "D, you're DMC, you got money, lifestyles of the rich and famous," not knowing none of this means nothing if you ain't right.
Up top, yeah.
Right? None of D, first to go gold, first to go pride. They're telling me, even Run told me, and he's a reverend, he said, "Suck it up, D, Byford and Banners, your mother and father, you had a good life." Yes, I did. But do you know what me being told adopt, they didn't know that emotionally shook me. So he says, I can't possibly understand what you're going through. There's someone I think you should meet. A week earlier, there was a lady in the office. She knew she was adopted, but she was going through the search for her birth parents, and she was depressed. So long story short, I meet another adopted person. And this adopted person tells me, oh, once a week, Mark Wahlberg, 'cause she's a casting director. Yeah, her name is Sheila Jaffe. She's a casting director in Hollywood. She cast Sopranos, Entourage, Mark Wahlberg, John Travolta, like she's up there. She's adopted too. So we meet and we just sat there and we talked about being adopted. So I'm in the lab, I'm all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I'm meeting Minotaurs and everything and fucking Cyclops and everything. It's hectic for me. So then she says, oh, by the way, once a week, Mark Wahlberg gives us his offices in Santa Monica, California. And I said, what do y'all go do? We just go in a room and we talk. The adopted person, that's a rapper, me, the adoptive person from London, all walks of life, you go talk. So long story short, we end this, and here's to answer your question. So by the 7th meeting, they turn to me and they say, D, don't you want to know who your birth parents are? No, don't put me down there. This is healing for me, this and that. I didn't know there was still more doors for me to go through that I didn't want to go down. Now, you heard the record Christmas Time in Hollis, Queens. Mom's cooking to Hollis.
Now we're in that cave in Dagobah where you got to...
Oh, yep. So now they let me go. And then the thing that opened me up was a famous adoptee who wasn't a celebrity adoptee. She's famous for saying this. She said, the reason why a person should search. Now, this has nothing to do with my alcoholism and my suppressed emotions, but this is the reason why a person, now you don't have to. It's your life, it's your story. You can have it be written the way that you want. A lot of adoptees don't want to search because they content with not going in, they happy with the birth map. But since me, I'm OCD, I'm suppressed emotions, I'm alcoholic, I got all the addictive personalities and all that. She said, the reason why an adopted person should search, and I'm like, why? Why should I search? You got Byford and Banner all Christmas Time in Hollis, Queens. It'll be a hit for the rest of the existence. There's Nat King Cole, there's Ben Crosby, and then there's Run DMC with Christmas in Hollis. Why should I go? She said, the reason why you should search is, and this hit me hard, you never start a book from chapter 2. So I was living my life from chapter 2. I didn't know there was a whole chapter 1. So when they hit me with that, to answer your question, Frank, it made me go, I gotta go into the cave. I gotta go in there. But in order to go in there, and this is important for all of you, police officers, doctors, whatever, UPS man, teachers, little kids, in order for me to go into the cave, I gotta be of sound mind and body. So it caused me to say, you know what? I gotta go to rehab. To stop drinking to go into that door. But it was when I was in rehab that I discovered the most powerful thing ever, way more powerful than Old English 800, or liquor, therapy. And it was in therapy where I would go through I had to confront me. And I tell people, therapy, the therapist doesn't help you. They go, then why the hell do you go? No, the therapist is a decoy so you can sit down with yourself. The therapist is just a decoy. I'm afraid to look in the mirror and talk to Darryl, but I'll talk to this person because it's not me. I'm afraid to confront myself. But all the therapist does is this, allow you to say things that you said to yourself before but didn't listen to, or say stuff that you should be saying to yourself instead of listening to. We listen to all the stuff that's in the labyrinth, but we never listen to when we say that. We don't think that we're important. So I go in and say, we are important.
You can't be ready now.
Right. So then, here's the thing for the spiritual thing. I do the alcoholic side, and then what was good about Sarah Tucson, you go in a community. Now you're in there with all of us. So there was this one lady who was so bad, she had to take a toothbrush and clean all the grout in her bathroom. Like she was, when we did the group hold hand thing, she was the only one they allowed. She'll stand next to me and you, and we all holding hands, but it was, she stood there though, but it was killing her, but you can't hold her hands. So I'm sitting there and it's all of us. And then the higher power thing comes. So I'm sitting there, and they're reciting the higher power thing. I'm reading all these books on dopamine. Sierra Tucson was great because they made me read about the famous guy that did the LSD experiments. And one of the things that he said was addiction is the conscious search for God. Ooh. We want assistance to get into God when we got to realize our trials and tribulations ain't really trials and tribulations. It's preparations for us to see God. So I'm sitting there, right? And then they do the higher power thing, when it got to that. So I'm realizing, so now I'm comic book guy. So my life has been set up for these, and sometimes we overlook your stuff like that. So I'm sitting there like Thor, like Iron Man, like Peter Parker, and like Daredevil, and they say,
This is your Ragnarok.
I started focusing on my higher power. I depend on my higher power, So I'm sitting there, and by the 16th day in rehab, I'm realizing, okay, it's my higher power. So that means it's mine. So that if it's my higher power, just like if it's my Adidas, it's with me. So my higher power isn't out there. If it's my higher power, that means that it's mine. That means that, oh my God, I'm my higher power.
Facts.
That's all it's been saying to me now. So I explain to people like this. What made it easy for me not to drink, I realized that I have the power if it's my higher power. This is yours too. You can. Didn't even Jesus say, ye are fool, because ye too are gods. You're just too foolish to see it. So now, what helps me every day from a comic book standpoint, when I went into rehab, I had to admit, I don't like smoking weed. Like we was talking about drugs. I don't like weed, and this is funny, because I'm very OCD. I have compulsions and stuff. I'm very, very neat. The Run DMC documentary is out, by the way, on Peacock, called Kings from Queens right now. You can see it. In there, LL talks about me being worse than Martha Stewart with Neatness. Now, LL noticed me on the road being neat, so I'm very neat. So, and what I was going to say was, my higher power, my OCD-ness, everything that I'm in. I forgot what I was going to say. What was I saying? My higher power. It's my higher power. I got out of rehab. It's my. With the comic books. I was saying I don't like weed because Ron and Jay would smoke a lot of weed, and they would forget stuff. They would lose their passports, and they were very sloppy. Because weed makes you go like that. Every time I would drink Old English or drink alcohol, it made me feel like the Hulk. So then I saw the struggle of Dr. Bruce Banner against the Hulk, this and that. So the thing that keeps me from drinking, when I go back and look at the comic book things, I said, I love drinking. And they said, D, you're on your way to being healed because you admit it. I think Martin Lawrence had to go into rehab and admit that he loved smoking weed, which was part of the success of overcoming it. But the same desire, energy, and feeling that's there that makes me want to take the drink 24 hours, 7 days a week is the same, that power right there. Because remember, it's all power, right? I use that same power not to take the drink. But I got to stay thinking like that. And it makes it easy. When I could think about all the million reasons to take the drink, but it doesn't feel as good as not taking a drink because I know I'm using that power. Now, it takes some people longer to see that. But once you start seeing that, you realize, man, I wish I would have had that back in when I first started drinking Old English at 12 years old. But spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, it came when I realized that you not only have a higher power, you are
the higher power. Wow.
You are the higher power.
It's funny.
That's why when you share your story, it does something to the next individual.
Damn.
Think about it.
I say that like every day I come home from work, or I come from like outside and I come home. I said, I always say thank you for allowing me to return home with sound mind, body, and spirit, right? And because I know like the one thing that we take for granted is being able to just walk out into the world and come home. And I never used to take, I never used to think about that being a gift, like us
Gratitude.
being able, I never had that gratitude. I never had that. And the minute I started adding gratitude to my life, that's when my life started to get a lot better. I used to complain a lot. I was a super complainer. I would always play like victim. You know what I mean? Like, why me? Instead of saying, why not me?
Wow.
So when I hear you talk and how it's perspective. It's
Yes.
how you look at it. You know what I'm saying? And I've always believed that, like, we have that higher power within us. Like the body is a
Right.
temple,
If you see us as a man thinketh,
he shall become. Yeah.
what you behold, you become.
Yes. That's why we have to
So
be
it's
very careful on
crazy.
how we speak about ourselves,
Exactly.
because self-talk will then manifest itself. So
Yeah, I tell all the kids the situation's your situation, but it's not to be ashamed or afraid of. Yes, I smoke meth and I can't do nothing about it. No, don't say you can't do nothing. You can do something about it. Or my daughter's on meth. No, you can do something about it. But the whole thing is to get to doing something about it.
The power of choice. Your choices did get you here, but that also means that your choices can get you out, and you hold that power to do that.
I'm thinking I'm the only adopted person in the world. I'm already depressed and suicidal. And that just came about. This is funny too. My whole locking the door of the Labyrinth came because of this. Run DMC in 1993, Pete Rock produced Down with the King for us.
I was going to ask you about that song.
1993. Now, hip hop started 73. Run DMC comes out in 83, 10 years later, and changes, takes it to where it was supposed to go. So by 93, Pac, Biggie, hip hop had changed. We were still respected, but we wasn't participating, right? So in 93, here's what's crazy. We said all things are connected. Pete Rock, and you know what I'm gonna say. He hates when he's so humble. The same thing Run DMC did for Aerosmith. Everybody says Run DMC brought Aerosmith back. Steve and Joe Perry and the groups, yes, you did. The same thing Run DMC did for Aerosmith, Pete Rock and CL Smooth did for Run DMC.
Wow.
Brought us back. We're down with the king.
I remember that.
Remember, they took our first lyrics and repeated in their rhymes. This, that. So it put us back on MTV, back on the charts, back on the roll. The day that we shot the video, the day that the video came out, I woke up the next day depressed. That's when it started. Why? Because something in me made me sit there and go, there's got to be something more to life than just being DMC for Run DMC, but I didn't know what it was. First to go gold, first to go platinum, first on the cover Rolling Stone, first with the sneaker deals. Running J's my friend, Bife and the Banners my mother and father. This thing called hip hop comes over from the Bronx. My Adidas deal. There's something missing. The missing piece to my identity was that, yes, I'm Darryl McDaniels from Hollis, Queens. I'm down with Run DMC. Everything's true about me. But the missing piece to my identity was I missed the fact that I was adopted. So when I found out that I was adopted, it was a shock to me. But then I did the search for my birth mother. I found my birth mother. I grew up in Queens. My birth mother was in Staten Island. Found two brothers and a sister that I didn't know I had. So through the trauma, the unfortunate situation, I found the missing piece to me. But I'm not ashamed. I'm Darryl McDaniels, the guy you know from Run DMC. But I'm also adopted, and I'm also an alcoholic, and I'm also suppressed. But it's all good. So if every day I can look at this person in the mirror and go, it may not be good every day, but every day I'm gonna try my best to make sure you're gonna be all right. And if it doesn't happen today, my compulsion is, if I work every day at becoming better, by the time I die, I have lived a helpful life. Like I tell some people that I'd rather have you going to rehab every day and therapy every day for the rest of your life. Why? This is income. No, it's not. Because look, how old are you now? I'm 23. I want to be able to see you at 83 and see you here standing in front of me, telling me I've been going to rehab every day. Because that 1 hour, 2 hours a day you're trying to help yourself will leave the other 24, 22 hours for you to do something. And then whatever, like, for me, it was like, I don't have to be on the MTV. I don't have to be on the. I'm not on MTV anymore. MTV don't even show videos anymore.
No, it's
They don't
reality
play
now,
me in the.
reality TV.
My joke is, they don't play me on the radio like Drake. But do I need to be on the radio? No. My question to me was, D, you don't have to have any of the successes that people think is successful. Wasn't you in your basement pretending to be Grandmaster Get High and MC Easy D before you made your first record? Yeah. That's what you got to do. That's what my therapist told me. All you got to do is do the thing that makes you happy, which will allow you to be able to deal with the stress, trials, and tribulations that come along with being a parent. My son started drinking, driving my wife crazy. She's mad at me because I'm so nonchalant. No, I care about it very, very much so. But I understand how to navigate this. I don't need my son to see me continually telling him to stop drinking.
Stop drinking. What's going to happen?
He has to see himself telling himself that. Or he has to see other individuals, like I'm within generation. I don't hang with him. But one thing that I know, he comes to places like this and he's starting to see me talk about it. See, this is what's beautiful about what you're doing. It's just dialogue. What I hate about mainstream media is they'll talk about D.M.C. being an alcoholic, suicide, a metaphysical, spiritual wreck who's fucked up on that one episode of Access Hollywood, and that's all you'll hear about me. And the next time you hear about me is when I fuck up again. But they don't talk about they ain't only talking about me because I'm a so-called celebrity. What they need to do is talk about people every day who are doing what DMC is going through. And their audience need to see that because your audience is sitting around with a bunch of people going through what the so-called celebrity is going through, but nobody's talking about it. Dialogue is the healing factor of it. This right here is therapy for somebody who probably can't even afford to go see a therapist. But just to hear us saying what they're going to experience in therapy might give them the confidence to say, you know what? If that's all it's going to take, that's what it took for me. I went into Sierra Tucson and saw the anorexic person and then just said, wow, she's anorexic, but I'm alcoholic, but we're both going through something. And I just realized I'm not alone. So it's creating a community, and even more for me, my therapist said, we're so lucky about you, D. You was giving hip hop. So our mantra is keep it real. Don't be ashamed. So there's men, police officers. Look at the football players, the athletes that commit suicide. Here's what kills me, the young kids that are doing it.
Yeah, we're dealing with that. Yep.
So my thing is this. The reason why I go so hard with it, because I got to have the same enthusiasm, eagerness, and attitude that people have about things that they consider normal. But everybody, you're normal if you're going through something. You're not normal if you're not going through nothing. Everybody's fronting, even the people that you see at work every day, especially with the line of work y'all guys are in, stress and trials and tribulations with friends, family. One police officer told me, he said, D, I can deal with most of the stuff that I see, but the thing that hurts me the most is I see when I go to these calls and how people treat the kids. These kids don't... You gotta leave. You come domestic violence and you leave. You want to bring all the kids with you.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So now I'm saying I go so hard with it because I realize if I talk about it, and not like it's a bad thing. They say, D, you're so happy. Yes, I messed up today. But you know what? I'm not ashamed. There's no guilt, no shame. Okay, I cannot be messed up by addressing the issues. And sometimes you can't do it alone. Sometimes you need to be in a community of people with people just like you so you can realize in the midst of all the pandemonium, you could look around while dealing with your situation. You know, divorce is a hard thing. You know what I'm saying? But the main thing is, let me be right so I could be right for my kids. Some people hate to go home. Some people go through an issue and wind up committing suicide anyway because they didn't have the wherewithal to say, okay, kids, come here. Daddy got to leave for a month. What do you mean? This and that. Some people don't, they want to stay in a situation with themselves messed up. That's not good because eventually something's going to click to make you give up because what you're doing is not alleviating the situation. Kids, come here. I love you. Daddy, don't go. It hurts. Let him cry. He's probably going to cry for 3 months until I get back. But that's what's going to happen. But when I come back, he's going to know all that crime was he or she. You know, my kid, they don't want to leave the kid. I don't want to break up with my wife for this. Sometimes it's what you got to do. But in order to go down, I know for me to beat and defeat whatever I was going through, I had to be of sound mind first, and then my body got right. You could be as strong as you want to be, but if you don't get the mind, if you don't get your direction right in that labyrinth, you're done.
Yeah.
So, and the done word is good. I'm going to end with this. I'm sick and tired of the pain and the hurt. I do this for Chester, Chris, and Kurt. Chester Lincoln Park, Chris Cornell, Kurt Cobain. I was there. I'm sick and tired of the pain and the hurt. I do this for Chester, Chris, and Kurt. Death is appealing, so with death I flirt. When I tell the world how I feel, they think I'm a jerk. I'm not bugging, I'm struggling. All this guzzling is puzzling. So I stopped hanging with Jack and Jim. Jack Daniels and Jim Beam, I thought they were my friends. They don't care about me. So I could fight in the battle, not just for me, but to show you can win. Somebody asked me, D, what is your greatest achievement? They was expecting me to say Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They was expecting me to say Grammy Awards. They was expecting me to say first to go gold, first to go. No, my greatest achievement is being sober. Why? I'm living proof. I'm still here. I didn't commit suicide. I'm not drinking anymore. I'm alcoholic. I can't drink. I'm living proof that you can beat and defeat whatever it is that you're struggling against. That's my greatest achievement.
That's beautiful. So on behalf of myself, Frank, the Behind the Mic podcast, and Reps for Responders, I just want to say thank you so much for sitting down and sharing your story with us, because you are a testament that whatever you're going through, you can get through.
Oh,
and
like
you are
that.
living proof of it. You know what I'm saying? And I came into this interview with so many emotions, man, because you're a guy that I've listened to my entire life. And this was a bucket list podcast for me, man. So that's
Right.
one check that's off the list on my bucket list.
Cool.
So I just want to say thank you, my brother. I appreciate you, and thank you for being a testimony of survival.
Well, we all are.
We all are, my brother.
Sorry.
Appreciate
we
you,
all
bro.
are, definitely. You keep up the great work. You keep up the great work. Now y'all know how to get me.
Yeah. We're gonna treat.
Don't
see
let
if we
this
can
be
get
the
something
only
else.
time. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For
my
sure.
mind rolling.